All right, wait. So let's take that and let's move on to the transfers. All right. So keep going, Ryan. Keep going. So you're telling me, Alok, I don't think he can convince Kane to stay for 2 years. 1 year also is he's pulled off a heist if he does that, honestly. And you all should be massively grateful if that happens. Let's look at it in two scenarios. Okay, let's make it scenario A and B. Obviously, scenario A is Harry Kane stays and you have
Which I
Nuno.
think is more likely. Which I think right now is more likely simply because I don't think City are looking to pay 150 for a 28-year-old.
Right, I was about to tell you one thing. Luckily for y'all, and this is a big
Yeah.
one, Madrid haven't been able to offload enough. They are not able to buy him. They're the only ones who have gone in for him, looking at potentially
But
partnering
he
with.
won't leave England.
No, but
Yeah,
He
yeah.
he
will
does
never
not
leave
leave
England.
England. He does not leave
So
England.
See, the thing is,
so
players like this who say stuff like this, right, have notoriously always been the ones who end up leaving in a spur
yeah,
of, ironically, in a spur of a moment move, like, you know what, I'm looking beyond England because they are worried
no,
they'll be looked at Judas their whole life playing in the Premier League for somebody else.
Yeah.
yeah, but again, with Kane, the conversation since 2016, when he had just shot to fame, and there were rumors about Madrid coming in for him, or probably Barcelona even coming for him. Uh, the conversation was right. I mean, there since 2016 that he's never gonna leave England, because he knows that he has a shot at Alan Shearer's record. He wants to get that. And if you have known Kane, even in 2018 World Cup, he did say that, I want to match Ronaldo's numbers. I want to match Messi's number. So that's how he keeps himself motivated. So the plan is to stay in England and get that Shearer's record. Because of which both Rehan and I are probably not worried about Kane leaving, because if he moves to another English club, no one has the capacity to pay 150. Even with City's notorious history of paying ridiculous amount of money to multiple players, you must understand that they have hardly ever broken transfer records. They buy multiple players worth 60, 60, 70 million instead of going in for like 150 million player.
Their transfer record is the same as ours.
Yes.
65. We paid 65 for Endombele, and I think they paid 65 for. I don't know who they paid 65 for someone. That's their transfer record. So it's ours as well. Plus, I mean, I think there are only two clubs that could afford Kane in today's situation. Still, I'm saying PSG and City, and maybe United, Chelsea. Chelsea is not going to go
I would look
because
at City. City have made, sorry, not City. PSG have made those free signings of
that's what
sort,
I'm
right?
saying.
When they poach Wijnaldum, they poach Donnarumma on free. See, the thing is, so y'all, the worst case scenario here is, like I said, you keep him for a year, maybe that's a good thing, but he
Yeah,
leaves you next year because PSG offload Icardi, they offload three other players, and he goes and joins Poch in PSG because Poch tells him, you know what, maybe I've won the lot this year with the players he already has at his disposal, right? And looking at Barcelona weakened a bit, even with Aguero and the free signings. Barca are not convincing yet. This is early season thought only, but obviously Messi could come up and change everything, right? Madrid,
I think PSG is the most convincing.
yeah, Madrid need to look at themselves. Bayern Munich, Nagelsmann, you don't know what you're going to get yet, right? So this is Poch's best year to win. Now this could work two ways for y'all again. He stays, Poch comes back because Nuno's sacked after he's won the lot at PSG, or he swapped, he's won the lot at PSG. He tells Kane, come join me, we can afford you, and come win everything with the best squad in the world right now. So I think you guys are kind of maybe right that most likely he should stay. Let's assume if he leaves, right, you get 150 from someone. Let's say it's Man City, obviously, and they don't sign anybody else and they offload a few of their players. They've already let go of a lot of money by letting go of Aguero, right? That's a big wage off their back right there. Silva went the year back, another senior player wage off their back, right? The senior most player they have right now is Fernandinho in this setup. So
Yeah.
they can get the wage structure sorted, right? It's about the money which City will find a way if they really want to. So they give you the 150 million. How do you see yourself shaping a squad up from that? Because it can be done. You don't need to go for those big names. You can piece together a squad from this.
Yep.
For sure. I think for me, what happens then is you're looking at a talisman size hole, right? and fittingly he wears our number 10, right? Who fills that role? I mean, Son, fine. I mean, we all love Son, but Son is not Kane,
Yeah,
right? I mean, Kane is not Tottenham captain, but you ask 10 people who know football and are walking down the street, who's Tottenham captain? Six will say Kane,
yep,
and four will say Loris, and they'll probably be for Tottenham fans. Okay, like Sky Sports and the news and pundits and all, they refer to Kane as Tottenham captain.
yeah,
So I don't. I think what the one of the things Mourinho did really well was bring in a lot of leaders. So we're not lacking in say the captaincy sense. I mean, you look at Højbjerg and how he's played that role at the Euros.
true,
Uh,
yeah,
Son is Korea captain. Dyer, hopefully he's not at the club, but Dyer's captain in England. Loris is World Cup winning captain. Joe Hart is captain in England. So you've got a lot of leaders, but you need that talisman. So obviously, early on in the window, I was like, I mean, if you're going to lose Kane before the 10th of June,
Yep.
and lose him in those 2 weeks between when he took out that interview and the Euros, and then go and bring in Jack Grealish, pay 100 million if you have to, you know, because you need that talisman, and obviously we need to spend at least 100, regardless of whether Kane leaves or not, on centre backs, at least 70 to 100.
I
Right?
was saying you could probably take Son and play him number 9 all season, but you need pretty much a whole new backline.
We do, but the only issue is that I mean, when Bale left, right? When Bale left, we had, first of all, the recruitment was rubbish. And before Paratici, I would have been so scared that Kane left and we messed up the recruitment. With Paratici, I mean, hopefully he picks up some of these good Serie A players. Um, but you need that talisman, you need that guy the focus is on. Fine, Son can take that. Say Son takes that, then, like I said, you need to get Skriniar and Koundé. Right. Then you need a new right. And we'll get Tomiyasu. He's not too inspiring. You still need someone who's a good attacking midfielder. If you move Son to the front, who's going to be your left winger? So there are a lot of questions. For me, I would have for sure said that if um, Kane leaves, keep Bale. There's your talisman for at least 2 years. You know. So with 350 million, I agree with you that we can go and get a very good squad and rebuild, like for example Liverpool did after Coutinho left, and I would love that. I'm okay with that. But I think filling that talisman role will be tough because who are the players that are going to come to you when you're playing the Conference League? And that's why I want Kane to stay one more year. That even if we leave him next year, it's important because he's our best chance of getting Champions League A, and B, if you're in the Europa League or the Champions League and Kane says, no, I still want to leave. Kane leaves for 100. You get that 50 million from the Champions League money. You have your 150 basically from a Kane sale, and you can spend that on someone who's willing to come and play for your club. Like Koundé doesn't want to come because they're playing Conference League, not Champions League. So I think this next year is important regardless of whether Kane leaves or not. I think if Kane does leave, then it's important because we need to spend it in a way that sets us up for the next 5 years.
Alok, that is what he said. Interesting thing, and that was my point. Which one? When I talk about your plan B, it is possible to make a squad. Liverpool, like he rightly mentioned too. Look, but there's Jurgen Klopp there, right? Again, no disrespect to any manager out there, but Jurgen Klopp clearly is a great manager, right, Alok? So
Yep.
you can get a squad and you can lead, but the problem is who would you get? And even the way you got Son, right, from Germany all those years back, at a good price at that point. You have those players out there who not necessarily not mind playing in the Conference League, but it is a hindrance, right? It is a hindrance for, let's say, a Jack Grealish, like he wanted. A Grealish, if he's getting to play somewhere else, would be like, I'd rather give another go at Aston Villa, and probably the squad looks in better shape with Buendia and players coming in, they're targeting Smith Rowe, and there's excitement over there, right? So, Alok, I had to kind of wrap up the transfer discussion. Do you have a few players in mind who you think will add value to the squad and not be your Bergwijns? And let's not even forget about Dele Alli. You have other players who can actually also make way. It's not about Harry Kane. It's Harry Kane, Bergwijn, Dele Alli right there, and that gives you 200 plus million. Forget about the extra 50 you should already have to spend this year, right? So, is it Do you think is that better? Is Plan B actually better for y'all, or you are just happy to
Uh,
stick with Kane?
I think before Nuno, probably I would have said if I like I said if Conte had come, I wouldn't have been too worried about Kane leaving because then the plan B would have worked. I think in a better way for us than Kane staying with Conte, because that would have given Conte enough money to build his team, which necessarily, like you said, you probably then won't need a one talisman or one point of focus probably. He could have built up like a team which is cohesive enough without any stars probably, and he could have gotten a league for us probably, or even good position in the league if not the league. With Nuno, I don't think many players would like to come here because of the amount of money that we're gonna throw. Uh, like Kunde, like for example, I mean rejected, apparently rejected us because we're not playing in the Champions League, right? Uh, so players today need either the Champions League football or even a team like United probably misses out on the Champions League football, but they know with the United's history probably they will probably challenge for a trophy here and there. Uh, with Tottenham we can't even offer that. Then it comes down to the manager. If Jose had stayed, we would have attracted more talent because it's just the name of Jose, right?
Of course.
Conte would have done that.
Yeah.
Nuno's not going to do that. So I think Plan B doesn't work out for us at all in the current situation. Kane has to stay, and I think Daniel Levy will do anything to make Kane stay. Now the idea would be to at least win that Conference Cup. Shore up that defense, get into that Champions League position, uh, and probably build onto that. Then if Kane stays, at probably if we win another trophy like FA Cup, which is again unlikely, but it's only trophies that's gonna make Kane stay. And like he has always said that if not the trophies, that's my intent. I wanna try for those trophies, but currently we're not being able to even do that. So uh, Plan B doesn't work, and with Plan A also, I think the plan would be to get that top four and the Conference Cup.
I think what's important to realize is that I don't think Kane wants to leave for the kicks. It's not like he has a family. He's happy in London, grown up there. I mean, it's a better place to stay than Manchester. So
I'm
outside the
sure.
football,
I don't deny that.
he's happy, right. So I think all we have to show him is progress. I think if we get close to the top four, and I would say more important than the Conference League for me would be the FA Cup. If for example we win the FA Cup and we're getting closer to the top four, I think he'll think about staying.
Yep.
If he sees this project going somewhere. But if we don't, we're 3 weeks out. We haven't made a signing. Obviously because the Euros, everyone's distracted. But unless we get a move on now, even if we keep him for a year, he's going to leave next year regardless. Because Dyer and Sanchez are not good enough, and Alderweireld
Yeah.
wants to leave. So
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm more
you're
worried about.
running thin, Alok, because you have Tanganga, you have Region. I mean, Region is kind of a blessing in disguise the way you look at it now, and I'm not saying he's the best. Yeah, he has great
Yeah.
attacking intent and he has great performance in some games, but Region, he's not the best defender, right? He has the tendency to lose his marker essentially, right? To just
I think
not.
he gets exposed because the rest are also so weak. I
Right.
think Reguilon's a
Yeah.
fantastic player, and on
Yeah.
his day, he's in my opinion top three, top four. Obviously Luke Shaw now is like I don't know what's got into him,
Yeah.
but in the first
Tellez,
half,
the
Reguilon
arrival
is
of
like
Tellez.
Yeah. And so I think the problem is also to move the players out and then the new signings. This Deadwood has been here for like three, four,
Yeah.
5 years now, and there is no. I mean, they are just becoming disposable now, and that's why the likes of Dele Alli, Bergwijn, they're not performing because they don't care anymore. I would
I think
love to see Dele play.
I would keep Delhi, because I think there's a player in there that's fantastic,
Yeah,
and
but I think, but
hopefully he comes
he's
through. If
lost
he
that
doesn't,
motivation. He's lost that motivation. I don't like. He
yeah.
says that it's back and he wants to play, but it's clearly not because competition is not there anymore. He's stayed here for too long. He knows probably that the life has come to like become too easy for him, and this is not the day that I in love with. The first 2 years of Delhi were phenomenally. The runs that he used to make because he was hungry. Right now, he feels that he has achieved everything. He doesn't care about football anymore. Probably for multiple reasons with what happened with Jose, probably, or Joby. But I think what now comes down to is that this move to this Deadwood has to be moved, and that's more worried because there are no buyers for this Deadwood.
All right, fair enough, guys. That was an interesting conversation. I'll just want to end on a good note since we're running out of time now. That the good news is that there are a few players, and this happens in the Premier League and from other clubs as well. When the manager leaves, he has one or two players who don't mind joining him. If you get someone like, I know it's tough, but a Robin Neves in midfield, if you could get someone like a Daniel Podence in attack, you have a few decent players he could poach from his side. I don't know what the contract situation is. Some clubs put in a clause that manager can't take ex players, right? But a potential Connor Cody as well. I'm not saying he's the greatest again. A Willy Bolly. You have
I love
some
him.
positives.
I love him. I would take him over Dyer any given day.
Yeah, so you guys have some positives, and hopefully that's what might happen. So it's not all doom and gloom. But thank you so much for joining me again today. We're gonna try to like split this up, guys, into 2 episodes and see how you guys view it. Maybe it'll be one long one. Let's see how it looks. But good news is for everyone who's watching in, we're going to be doing more of these, at least one a week or if two a week. We're going to increase the frequency. So we're going to make this as much as Spurs content possible for all you fans out there. And we're going to make this the Indian hub for Spurs fans in India at least, and maybe worldwide soon. So thank you, Alok. Thank you, Rian, again for joining me so much. Don't forget to hit subscribe on our channel and on your respective fan club accounts as well. And do give a follow to these guys. They're very active on social media, very opinionated, and very happy to discuss with whoever's involved. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.